Once upon a time in a village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake lived a kind and curious ant named Amira. She had a deep love for the outdoors and cherished spending time with her young niece and nephew, Layla and Zaid. One sunny afternoon, Auntie Amira suggested an exciting adventure to the children. "What if there are scary monsters in the woods?" he asked, clutching his sister's hand. "Today we're going to explore the Whispering Woods," she announced with a twinkle in her eye. "I bet you'll find it just as enchanting as I did when I was your age." Sunlight streamed through the leaves, dappling the forest floor with light and shadow. Suddenly, Layla stopped in her tracks. "Look, Auntie Amira," she exclaimed, pointing to a cluster of mushrooms with red caps and white polka dots. "They're just like the ones in the fairy tales." Layla and Saeed looked at each other, a mixture of fear and excitement on their faces. "We'll just have to be extra careful and quiet as we cross." Taking a deep breath, they began to cross the bridge, but their hearts were pounding in their chests. It was just a twig that snapped. "Now let's move forward slowly and quietly." As they continued on, the sound of their own footsteps seemed deafening. Finally, they reached the other side of the bridge and hurried away from the sound of the rushing water. "This must be the secret pass I've been searching for." Just then, a small clearing opened up before them, revealing a sight that took their breath away. Layla, a spirited and imaginative 7-year-old, couldn't wait to start exploring. But Saeed, the more cautious 5-year-old, hesitated. Together, they started to climb the stairs, each step leading them deeper into the mystery of the Whispering Woods. At its base lay a moss-covered stone that seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow. And to their utter amazement, the stone began to rise, revealing a hidden staircase that spiraled upwards into the tree's hollow trunk. Startled, the children turned to see a tiny woman with a pointed hat and a warm smile. "Welcome to my humble abode," she continued. "I'm the guardian of this place. Pleased to meet you all. You are the chosen adventurers who will help restore balance to our world." "Where are we now?" asked Saeed, his eyes filled with wonder. Before the children could respond, the room began to spin around them, and when it stopped, they found themselves in a lush meadow filled with colorful wildflowers, a place where nature's magic is at its strongest. As they approached the waterfall, the sound of rushing water filled their ears, and the spray from its powerful flow created a natural mist that danced in the air. The children looked at each other, a mix of apprehension and determination on their faces. They knew that they had to do something to save this beautiful place, but they weren't sure what. The air grew cooler, sending a shiver down their spines. "You must find the source of the waterfall's power," he said. "It's hidden deep within the enchanted glade, and only those who are pure of heart can find it." "Did you hear that?" whispered Layla, her eyes wide with fear. Their journey led them through fields of sparkling dewdrops and past trees that whispered secrets to the wind. It was as if the very essence of the forest was guiding them on their quest. All around them, animals big and small watched with hope and anticipation as the children searched for the hidden source of the waterfall's power. "Do you hear that?" she whispered, her ears perked. "Our waterfall is dying, and without its magic, our world will fall into darkness." Following the sound, they found a small opening in the trees, and what they saw there took their breath away. Sunlight streamed down through the canopy, creating dancing patterns of light and shadow on the surface. But it was a waterfall they had come to find. But you must face your greatest fears to reignite the waterfall's magic. To their surprise, the roar echoed with power and strength, and as the sound faded away, the waterfall erupted into life. "You did it!" the guardian exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. "You brought balance back to our world." Water cascaded down the rocks, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. Animals of all kinds were cheering and dancing, their joy echoing through the trees. With heavy hearts, they said their goodbyes to the new friends they had made. The wise turtle even offered them rides on his back, taking them on a tour of the entire pond. They had faced their fears, saved the enchanted glade, and made a new friend along the way, inspiring them to be brave, kind, and always respectful of the natural world around them. Sunlight danced on the sparkling surface, creating a mesmerizing display of light and motion. Closing their eyes, the children thought of their greatest fears. For Layla, it was the dark. For Saeed, it was being apart from his family. Its water seemed dull and lifeless, devoid of the vibrant colors and sparkling magic that had enchanted them earlier. Auntie Amara knelt down to Saeed's level and said, "There might be some scary monsters in the woods, and if you look closely, you'll see that each mushroom is singing a different tune. These contain some of the glade's magic," she said, her eyes twinkling with warmth. As they spoke, the memory of the waterfall's magic and the wonder of the enchanted glade filled their hearts, reminding them that even the smallest of hearts can hold the greatest courage. Use it wisely and always remember the power of courage and friendship. As the children listened, they could have sworn they heard the mushrooms humming a soft, harmonious melody. A wise-looking owl hooted softly, a playful squirrel chattered excitedly, and a graceful deer stepped forward with a gentle nod of its head. "It's so beautiful," Layla whispered, her heart filled with awe. "But I'm sure you'll be able to face them together, right?" "So you found the source of the waterfall," he said, his voice raspy with age. "Only true courage can reignite its magic." Through a large window, they could see a beautiful garden filled with flowers of every color imaginable. Suddenly, Layla remembered the grumpy troll under the bridge. "We faced our fear of loud noises to escape the troll's cave," she said, her voice ringing with newfound confidence. Encouraged by her words, Saeed nodded bravely and the trio set off into the woods. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the trees formed a canopy overhead, creating a magical tunnel of green. "How can we help?" Layla asked, her voice filled with concern. "Indeed," Auntie Amira replied, her eyes sparkling with delight. Their attention turned to a babbling brook that flowed over smooth stones, its water sparkling like 1,000 diamonds. "Let's cross the bridge and see what wonders await us on the other side," Auntie Amira suggested, her voice echoing the excitement in their hearts. But as they reached the bridge, they noticed a sign that read, "Beware. This bridge is guarded by a grumpy troll who hates loud noises." "Don't worry," Auntie Amira said, placing a reassuring hand on each of their shoulders. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed across the bridge, causing Layla and Saeed to jump in fright. Auntie Amira, however, remained calm. "It's all right," she said softly. As they ventured further into the woods, The trees grew taller and thicker, forming a dense canopy that blocked out the sunlight. "Are we lost, Auntie Amira?" Layla asked, her voice trembling slightly. "Not at all," Auntie Amira replied, her voice steady and reassuring. In the center stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. "Wow!" whispered Saeed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's incredible," Layla added, her earlier fears forgotten. At the top of the stairs, they found themselves in a cozy room bathed in a warm, inviting glow. "This place feels magical," Layla whispered, her senses overwhelmed by the enchanting atmosphere. "Indeed it is," said a gentle voice. Layla, ever the inquisitive one, couldn't resist asking, "How did you know our names?" The guardian chuckled, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Your presence here has been foretold," she replied cryptically. In the distance, they could see a majestic waterfall cascading down a rock face, its water sparkling like liquid gold. "This is the enchanted glade," the guardian explained. To their astonishment, the waterfall seemed to shimmer with 1,000 colors, constantly changing and flowing like a living, breathing thing. "Indeed," said the guardian, "but its beauty is fading, and only you can help bring it back." Just then, a group of animals emerged from behind a nearby bush. "We come to you for help," the deer said in a voice that seemed to echo with ancient wisdom. The children listened intently, their hearts aching for the animals and the beautiful glade. The owl hooted softly. With their mission clear, the children set off into the heart of the glade, determined to save the waterfall and restore balance to this magical world. As they ventured deeper into the glade, the sounds of nature seemed to grow louder, the birdsong more harmonious, and the rustling leaves more vibrant. Suddenly, Layla stopped in her tracks. From a distance, they could hear the faint sound of trickling water, like a gentle lullaby carried on the breeze. Hidden in a secluded part of the glade was a small pond filled with crystal clear water. However, instead of cascading down a rock face, it was now a gentle stream flowing peacefully into the pond. "We found it," whispered Saeed, his voice filled with a mix of triumph and sadness. Just then, a wise-looking turtle emerged from the pond. Layla and Saeed looked at each other, unsure of what to do. The turtle nodded slowly. "That indeed takes courage," he said. Taking a deep breath, they let out a mighty roar, facing their fears head-on. The animals and the guardian watched in awe as the waterfall came back to life, its magic restored. Layla and Saeed looked at each other, their faces beaming with pride and accomplishment. Hand in hand, they walked back to the meadow, where a celebration was in full swing. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the glade, it was time for Layla and Saeed to return home. But before leaving, the guardian gifted them each with a small pouch. Back in the familiar surroundings of their home, Layla and Saeed recounted their amazing adventure to their parents. And so, the tale of Auntie Amira and the Whispering Woods became a legend, passed down through generations of children.